common denominator.
And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Let's talk about something important. Put that coffee down.
I'm not here to waste your time.
Everyone has access to the information. We just know how to analyze it better.
Where else you gonna have this much fun?
You the man.
Todd Father.
Show me the money.
What I've been doing, had to triple my bag. Had to triple my bag. Wow. Had to triple my bag. Wow. Had to triple my bag. Yeah. Had to triple my bag.
60% of the time, it works every time.
That doesn't make sense.
Well, it's no trick to make a lot of money. All you want is to make a lot of money.
What is going on, guys? What is going on? Make sure to let us know if you can hear everything loud and clear. It has been 6 days since we've done a live show.
We are back.
We're back. We have been over on Twitter. Of course, we've been in Discord and Patreon as well, but we have not done a live YouTube show in 6 days, or 5 days technically, since we're going live today. Hopefully everybody is doing pretty well. I mean, man, we have had some volatility in those 5 days. Let me tell you, we are at $3,400. We said we had a price target of $3,000 to $3,200. We ended up getting a low of $3,224, and now we're at $3,480. So, man, talk about volatility. Ooh. So not too much going on. That's kind of the reason why we haven't been live, but only been in Discord, Patreon, and Twitter. But, you know, there are some things to talk about. A couple new developments, features coming out for Ethereum. We also got another country getting on board and adding Bitcoin, Ethereum, other cryptocurrencies to their traditional markets. And Venezuela doing more Venezuela-like things. Some sketchy pension plan ideas are going on down there. And we'll talk about why we think the Petro is such a doo-doo coin, why you should avoid it, and man, how I feel so bad for some of the citizens down in that third world country. What you got going on, Todd?
Nothing. Trying to get my software working here because it's working at my other desk, but right here it's like loading. So
the software
that's
literally
the week it's been.
at the 8 screens. You think it pulls up, it works, and then we came over here, we couldn't log in. Finally got it logged in. Now it doesn't want to load the charts.
It loads the charts, but it won't finalize it. It just keeps churning.
Outlaw Preacher says, I have moved to the dark side. I'm looking for a sub 2K BTC before the daylight.
Whoa. G-Money, what's up?
Shout out to everybody in here. S-Taj, Outlaw Preacher, TikTok is in here. S-Taj, Clifford, Lewis, I haven't seen that name in a while. And Crypto Don Juan is in here with the thumbs up. Shout out to you. Thanks for tuning in. We got a lot of the similar names. A lot of new names as well. So make sure to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Continue to participate in our giveaways. And check out our description for what we offer outside of crypto. So, I mean, if you're new to the channel, we're going to go over some news, some fundamentals, some technical analysis, and go to the chat box and continue to try to pump out content during this quite boring point in cryptocurrencies as things continue sideways. Let's get started.
Let's get started.
Looking at CoinMarketCap, the market cap is still $110 billion. Like I said, we've moved $80. $80 since the last live show 5 days ago. Bitcoin dominance is up to 55%. We had a price target of $3,000 to $3,200. Bitcoin got as low as $3,224. Personally, I think that we are going to go a little bit lower, set a new low, and probably hold in the 3K to 3.2K range. I mean, a wick to 2,800, as long as it came right back, really doesn't change anything in my mind either. A little bit of green across the top 10 here, but a little bit of red as well. Bitcoin Cash is down. Bitcoin SV is down. You know how I feel about both of those. I was saying to dump that as Bitcoin Cash rallied pre-fork. That would have been pretty well because right now you have a combined value of $188. I can't even remember how high it got during the pre-snapshot for those two cryptocurrencies. But I do not want to be involved with either of those with Roger Ver and Craig Wright at the helm. Who are the biggest winners today? Credo up 44% on $5,000 in volume. If you own Credo, 5,000 volume, do the math, guys. Take some profits, especially if you just have a little bit, is what I would assume. Maybe you have 0.1 Bitcoin or 0.05 Bitcoin with a Credo. Sell it for the Bitcoin. I don't know what's going on there. Bitcoin private up 27.91%. quite impressive, but we do know Bitcoin private was down around 97% from the highs or something like that. So it's got a long way to go before it digs itself out of the hole. But one cryptocurrency that we have been talking about and one platform that has absolutely been killing it, Waves is up 18.68%. This thing is up something like 100 or 200% over the past couple of weeks and has been continuing higher. If you're like a lot of people in the chat box and you're bearish on the short-term outlook of Bitcoin, Waves chart is going to start looking like the charts of Basic Attention Token, ZRX, Chainlink, which we were calling tops on and looking for multi-day and multi-week retracements. Waves is starting to teeter on that edge. If Bitcoin does have a $200, $300, $400, $500 red candle, I think Waves will be one to give up a large portion of these gains moving forward. Maybe something to look into consider. You don't have to sell your whole bag, but with this kind of a rally during this kind of market sentiment, it is not a bad idea to take the profits off the table or 25% of the gains off of the table as well. Maybe put 25% in cash, 25% in Bitcoin, and leave the remaining 50% holdings of Waves in that cryptocurrency. All right, Todd, you got a couple charts to go over before we get into some of this news?
Got a little bit here. I mean, we got the Bitcoin. Last time we was here, I guess we were doing this 3,350, 3,400. That sideways kind of showed a 3,200 print to the downside. We did the 3,225 like Nick said. And we're looking for that huge wave 4 before we go to new highs. The rally since then looks a little overlapping. I mean, you could say this is a 1-2 and a 1-2 if you're doing Elliott, which means we need to turn up quickly from here and sharply. One thing that's got me bothered, if you go here, these are the shorts, the longs, and the net. The shorts since the low here, they got a little heavy up here, and then really shorts have came off pretty heavy for just the last 5 days. Longs have increased, and price is still trading at 3,400 level basically. So that looks a little heavy for some reason. So I don't know if we're once again doing a triangle. It's going to mess around for another day and then do that sub 3,200 or 3,000 that Nick's talking about. So not sure about that one. And the developers have moved my software to everything. They said the indicators, the OP Force and Tech was setting at still at the old API. So they brought that over to my server at AWS. It is loading much quicker now. And I can't really show you that because it's working over at my other desk all day. And for some reason, you see how fast it'll load everything, but it just won't quit loading. So technometers on a lot of things are 41 to 43. No real divergences or nothing, so really not much to add from the software. And then briefly, stocks. Monday, the markets were, we had, hold on here. Trying to move this over so we can look at it easier. This is basically the Wyckoff wave or Dow Jones Industrial Average, S&P 500, whatever. I was short Caterpillar, and I said cover shorts 2 days ago, but I didn't really give a buy signal. We had technometer down at 35, so that has caught some of these other lows, but we've had 2 days now where we gapped higher, closed kind of shitty. Did that again today, so I'm leaning that maybe stocks have more downside. So we could be working on just a sideways here and new lows coming, or maybe a triangle. Maybe we run up for a day and a half or so, a little higher, and then come down one more time. So I'm worried a little more weakness in stocks, which, as I've been saying, probably brings weakness to cryptos, because I'd say they're more or less moving together than anything. I think it's easy money took them all up, and tighter money is being a little bit hard on them. So here's the dollar index we've been talking about. So that's starting to look like more so that was maybe the wave 5 that ended, or this is 1-2 of wave 5. So I still wouldn't want to get bearish until probably this 25.78 level's taken out, but I still think this market's making a big top. So we can watch that one, and I guess one more here, Square. The software did not give us a buy or sell down here. I had kind of marked oversolds more down here at 38, and we've missed that on all these moves here, and haven't really rallied again in the last few days. So Nothing to add on Square. And really nothing to add on interest rates either. TLT, I think last time we was here, we talked about I was short, got stopped out here, and I would like to be short again, but not getting any signals. So that's all I got right now. Maybe by the time Nick comes back, maybe I'll have the actual crypto software updating.
Sweet. Let's go over some news. Why does it say Ethereum to take back over the number 2 spot in the title? So as you know, this entire year, I've been saying that Ethereum is going to lose some of its market share due to the sector competition, whether that's from Ethereum Classic, which you do know I do like Ethereum Classic, what Charles Hoskinson and IOHK has done with that, plus the others 3 or 4 development teams, as well as you got the competition from EOS, Neo, and other up-and-coming protocol platforms. Well, that coupled with the ICOs being forced to sell their Ethereum during the hard times in order to keep their treasury afloat, Ethereum price has dropped dramatically and is sitting around $90. But is some code change in Ethereum going to be its savior? Is it going to add some scalability? Is it going to save some energy costs? Let's read on. Major Ethereum software client upgrades in preparation for Constantinople hard fork. The Ethereum Constantinople upgrade appears to be proceeding as planned, as a widely used Ethereum software client has published new code that includes a Constantinople activation time on GitHub December 11th. The post reads that Geth is a special release that will finally enable the Constantinople hard fork on the Ethereum mainnet at block 7,080,000. The upcoming hard fork comprises 5 separate Ethereum improvement protocols in order to soften the transition from proof of work to a more energy efficient proof of stake consensus algorithm. That could be interesting play right there. We all do know that this fork is supposed to help with scalability issues for Ethereum. This is one problem I have cited the entire time and why I was looking for Ethereum to lose some of its market share, which it has, falling to number 3 while XRP goes to number 2. And you see that other protocol platforms are floating around $1 billion valuation, such as EOS, Ethereum Classic, and Neo, and others. But this more efficient switch to proof of stake also may get a rush of investors. Meaning, if you hold Ethereum, and this is a traditional method of proof of stake, you then get rewarded for staking that Ethereum, earning ETH as a reward. We all know that during this bear market and on the back end of 2017, passive income via staking and masternodes has become much more understood by the general public, and people are starting to hop on board. It is very similar to the dividend payment structure of the traditional market, but you're actually providing security and verifying transactions for these various cryptocurrency networks. POS would fundamentally change the Ethereum blockchain by means of a host of new upgrades, which prevent any backwards compatibility. No more can Ethereum go back and change transactions, change the DAO hack or whatever it may be, which some people might think is a good thing, as this will better be in line with the immutability aspect of cryptocurrencies. The Friday agreement follows a decision to delay the Constantinople hard fork for late January 2019. That's coming up soon, guys. That is about a month and a half away. Yesterday, Ethereum co-founder Vitalik Buterin declared that future blockchains with sharding based on proof of stake will be, quote, thousands of times more efficient. Buterin stated that as scalability advances, which would drive down the fee, right now the transaction fee for the Ethereum network is quite expensive, and holders of RPD who are waiting for the mainnet token swap see that, where right now it costs about 16,000 RPD to make a transaction, and after the mainnet swap, it is going to cost 0.0001 RPD. That is the difference and the scaling features for cost reduction that Vitalik is talking about. As well as the user experience gets better, non-financial applications will become a, quote, bigger part of the story. He also noted that blockchains are not about, quote, cutting computational costs, but are instead about increasing computational costs while decreasing social costs, meaning that for the user end, for me and you to use the cryptocurrencies, it needs to be easier, faster, and cheaper to then infiltrate the market, reach mass adoption, get network utilization, which then should drive price appreciation of the surviving crypto assets. So what do you guys think? Do you think that this change in code for Ethereum, it's going to increase scalability, it's going to decrease transaction times and transaction cost, it is going to switch from proof of work to proof of stake? Do you think that is going to drive more utilization of the network? Do you think that is going to get more investors because they can then earn a reward by staking their Ethereum? And do you think that this is going to allow it to be more commerce friendly for businesses to start building on the Ethereum platform? I think some of those answers, this is the first time in about 5-6 months that I am a little bullish on Ethereum, and at least think that we can see a nice short-term pump with this news. Now, still borrowing on Bitcoin to find a bottom and not to be having a red candle as the hard fork does happen. But I think this is finally a step in the right direction for Ethereum, and they're finally doing something worthwhile once again. What you got, Todd?
I was going to see, I'm no expert at this. I was going to see if I could, I did a poll in that straw poll. Does that work? So people can click on that and see if they think we're going to 2,800 or 4,000. And it'll keep track of the poll. What do you think of that?
How'd you do that? Is that on YouTube right now?
Yeah, if you click that, it'll take you to where you have your choice.
Let me see.
Click the link, a straw poll link, and it'll say 2,800 or 4,000. Click on what you think's next. And
there you go, guys.
It'll keep track of the results.
Click on that
What do you
link.
think of that?
Put your vote in. Let's see what you guys think. Are you guys bearish? Do you think we're going to get that $2,800 wick? Or do you think we're going to be heading towards 4,000? And if we can sustain above the 4,200, 4,300 level, I think then we start to turn this bad boy around.
Right. Click on the link and you can do your vote. What do you think of that?
What is up, dang it, James? I can't say your real name. Otherwise, the 5 cents we do make off this video will be removed, and we need all the pennies we can get. I got to buy some ramen tonight. What about you, Todd?
Accumulate on Chatterbait.
Puma and adult blockchain Chatterbait equals accumulate. There you go. There's your $2 advertisement. Dang it, James. Puma and adult blockchain Chatterbait equals accumulate. Check it out, guys.
I talk to Gary some still, but it's like 1 a.m. over there now. So I know he's doing a lot of work, and like all of us getting beat up a little bit, but he's still around. He'll be back. Right. Mohan's the one that gave us, I believe, the straw poll. So we'll start trying to use that a little bit more. That way we can keep track of it.
There we go. We can verify just like the blockchain can verify and see what you guys' votes are, rather than you guys switching it up and saying you're right all the time.
Right.
Well, I guess I'll just hop into the next article. I don't see really any questions, just general conversation. If you guys have any TA questions or FA questions, you can always put it in the chat box. We try to see it, but once again, as more and more people come in here, it is hard to catch everything. So if you want to do what Dang It James did and send $1, $2, $10, whatever it is, we'll make sure to give you special attention.
We was going to talk about the January 3rd shutdown. I just saw an email blast saying that exchanges could shut down that day. Oh my goodness.
For what?
For that proof of keys or whatever that everybody's talking about.
Interesting. Get a Ledger Nano S. There's a link in the description below, and they're actually having a 30% off sale. So I think you can get a Ledger Nano S for like $70. If you're worried about it, get all your crypto on the Ledger Nano S for $70. You have to have the hardware. You have a 25-word passphrase, and also you have another login username password for the desktop wallet as well. So really, it's 2 passwords and a hardware wallet that they need. Pretty secure, and that's what I'd recommend if you're worried about it. All right, here we go. So I was looking at some numbers, and Grayscale always puts out their numbers of what they're currently invested in. Bitcoin, Ethereum Classic, Horizon with Zen, they have that as well, Litecoin, XRP, etc. And I was looking at, they have over $700 million worth of Bitcoin. Did the math on that. Grayscale, a cryptocurrency institutional outlet for institutional investors, small, no-name, traditional markets don't even know what it is, owns 1% of the Bitcoin that will ever exist. That's not wrong. So right now they own about 1.3% of the circulating supply. Now imagine what happens when all institutions, hedge funds, endowments, wealthy individuals all need their piece of the pie as well. That's not even adding to the fact of retail users like yourself, retail utilization, and the network effect. I think this just shows the prime example of why people like Bitcoin, why they have crazy price objectives of $30K, $50K, $100K, $1 million. Because if it does get mass adoption as either a payment network or as gold 2.0, there is a finite supply. Grayscale, with minimal funding, only been around a few years, owns 1% of the total supply. And if you know Barry Silbert, he is not short-term on this. He is long-term on this. He will not be dumping this on the next rally, not very early at least. And I think that is something to keep in mind. That kind of is eye-opening to how fast and why cryptocurrencies and Bitcoins do rally so fast and violently, because there isn't much liquidity in the market. If people decide they need it, they got to pay up for it because people are locking them away. You got Yale Endowment, etc. You think they're going to break out their hardware wallet and sell Bitcoin as soon as it starts rallying? No, that's not going to happen. So keep that in mind. On top of that, if you guys did not know, more digital cryptocurrency wallets were created in 2018 during this 12-month bear market. More wallets were created in 2018 than the entire previous 9 years of existence of Bitcoin combined. Yes, in the first 9 years combined, there's more wallets in this shitty bear market sentiment of 2018. That's including the 2017 bull run and all the other previous bull runs. I think that is eye-opening to the amount of people at least dabbling in the ecosystem, preparing themselves for the ecosystem, and what's really going on behind the scenes. I think mass adoption, utilization, and the holding of these cryptocurrencies as a storage value is also coming around the corner. So we're still bullish on this. You know, we were actually, Weiss Ratings is well known for traditional markets. They've been dabbling in cryptocurrencies. We're kind of bearish cryptos or anti-cryptos. Even gave Bitcoin a C+ rating for an investment. They just recently had an invite, a member video, and I watched it before I came here. And now all of a sudden they're saying that when Bitcoin bottoms, either here or around 2K or whatever the range is, they said when Bitcoin bottoms, its next bull run will be a 30x. The proper altcoins will be 100x. Yeah. And there's going to be coins that don't even exist that will 1000x. I mean, that's pretty crazy from bearish sentiment to Bitcoin's a C+ to now saying, well, conservatively, our models are saying that Bitcoin will 30x. 30x from current valuations is what, Todd? Like $100,000 Bitcoin. Right. I mean, that is crazy. That is way higher than either me or Todd have ever predicted. You know, we were looking for the bull rally to bring around a 1 trillion to 1.2 trillion market cap valuation, which would put Bitcoin around $25,000. And as we were expecting some of the altcoins to die and that money to funnel into some of the other top projects. But they're calling for a 30x. A $100,000 Bitcoin, I mean, what is the market cap on that? That might be the 1 trillion by itself. That is pretty crazy.
We got to talk about the January 3rd crap, proof of keys, because I don't think everyone's talking about. I mean, they want to pull their Bitcoin to stop all the rehypothecation going on and the commingling. But if you really think that's true, you'd sell your car and your wife and your husband and everybody and buy Bitcoin, because if anybody gets caught with the rehypothecation and needing to cover with Bitcoin, they're going to have to chase Bitcoin at the market. So I don't know if I'd worry about moving my Bitcoin off. I'd be more worried about trying to get longer. So if anybody wants to talk about that, we can.
And really, I would just need to dig a little deeper. I see what they're doing here. They're trying to set it up for people to prove the point, because originally it was to be your own bank, to manage your own money, etc. So you were supposed to always have the private key, which is what we tell you guys. If you're not actively trading, we recommend that you get a Ledger Nano S or get a desktop wallet and own your private keys, and that way you always own your cryptocurrency. You don't have to worry about a hack. You don't have to worry about if an exchange closes down like Mt. Gox or whatever it may be.
Especially if you're on a lot of these shitty exchanges. I don't know. If you're a Coinbase,
That's what I was also saying. But at the same time, on the same note, times have changed. Security has increased. And I think you're pretty safe. Coinbase even has insurance, believe it or not. So if I'm going to leave it on exchange, I feel pretty safe with Coinbase Pro, Binance, really even Bittrex too, honestly. And then now you have traditional investors with Poloniex and Kraken as well. So, I mean, they're going to be backed by traditional financial companies. So, but I'll look a little more into that. If you guys have an opinion on proof of keys, obviously we're going to be here live before January 3rd. So I'm sure more information will come out about that, and I can give a more educated opinion.
I mean, I'm sure Wall Street has sold this in the hole. That's what they do, and they love trends. So I'm guessing there's been a shitload of rehypothecation. There's been a shitload of shorts sold in Bitcoin without actually having it. And I think that leads when we finally make the low, it's going to be violent and we're going to have an uptrend just like we had the downtrend, would be my guess, because they're all going to be caught and have to come right back. So I don't know whether January 3rd is going to make that happen if people do pull their Bitcoin off. So so we're going to have to reverse all that. I mean, that might be what it takes. I'd be more, like I said, I'd be more wanting to get more long. So for that, it's nothing different than, having like Tesla being short, so, having so much short interest out. That's basically the same thing. It's just going to be like a short interest in Bitcoin. So short interest is high. The problem is we have no figure on that. There's no chart on that. But if we had that, then you would know that the sentiment is extremely bearish Bitcoin. And as I said, trend followers, Wall Street, they love that shit. They'll sell it into the hole, which is probably what they've done. So, but I'm guessing a lot of that's behind us. Everyone's caught up in all the negative news like that. I'm guessing that's why we're down here.
As Tosh says, what's good about Bitcoin equals store value? If that goes to zero, there is no store value, LOL. Really don't think Bitcoin's going to zero. It's not really possible. Personally, I think the network effect has already solidified itself across the globe. I think too many people are actually using it for a proper use case and a payment network. It's really hard to value Bitcoin because it's not an equity. It's not a share of a company. It's not a revenue-driving company. What you're getting is a payment rail or a payment network in which can be used globally 24/7. There is going to be continued development for scalability. Lightning Network is continuing to expand day by day, even though I don't really use Lightning Network, but more and more users and more money is flooding over there. And, on top of that, people are seeing it as Bitcoin gold or gold 2.0. And that's just the fact of the matter. I mean, like I said, if institutions are all wanting a piece of the pie, liquidity is going to dry up. And then if you have proof of keys and you guys all take your Bitcoin off the exchanges, well, now liquidity is really dried up. If anybody wants to buy any amount of Bitcoin, the price is going to be forced higher just because there's nobody there to sell it. And that's really how we got the rally to begin with. I think the finite supply resource, the computational of how much it costs for the proof of work, and really the network effect that has already been ingrained in individuals all over the globe and is only growing by the day is going to lead to higher utilization of the network, and which drives price appreciation. And, there's still a very small percentage of individuals that hold or know or use Bitcoin. And I think that's just going to continue to grow. And that shows in the numbers. More wallets have been downloaded in this shitty market in 2018 than the previous 9 years combined. You can't fudge the numbers. That's just a fact. So I think that network effect is growing as we speak.
Somebody, what was JG asking about people looking at gold mining companies? I mean, this is ABX. I've been long this thing on here live. Classic Wyckoff all over this I'm showing different divergences. There was a divergence down here with the OP hitting new lows. Price didn't. That gave us some buys out of here. We actually had the same thing again here. I doubled up back here when the technometer was oversold. The technometer was oversold here also with the divergence, so that gave you another buy point. So, and today actually was its highest close at 1402. I know there's upside objectives still much higher. So, the stock software has done that one perfect. And this is Caterpillar, which I just came off of a good trade. That was like, that's a longer term on Caterpillar with a buying climax, automatic reaction, secondary test. We had a rally back here. I caught that short at 139.95, I think it was right here. And I covered it 5 days later for about a $17 profit. So, and the technometer, called that one again perfect. It was major overbought up here and major oversold.
Show me the money.
That was easy money there.
Do you have Lulu, Lulu, on that stock software?
Yep.
Mohan with the $2 super chat, not for a cryptocurrency chart, but for a traditional stock chart. And that is one thing that we can bring to the table. Todd is the president of Wyckoff SMI and does have the stock version of the Wyckoff software working and rearing to go.
And actually right there is Lulu. And there's the last three signals marked. I had a buy on that. The same day I covered my Caterpillar short. You can see down here, the technometer was major oversold on everything. So, but that caught Lulu probably about 115 or 122.65. And it caught these last two trades. So I know Lulu, what's his face? Nigerian, I think on CNBC was on that, I think really back here around 140-ish, liking it. So I'd say that one's probably oversold. And that'll be one that'll lead us back strongly. So
cool.
And while we're talking, I'm going to throw up one more because I think this one could be a home run if we get going here. This is Regeneron, biotech, higher risk. I think that was a sign of strength, last point of support. You can see why the markets have been pretty heavy. This thing just keeps trying to work higher. So I think that could be a good one. And then let's throw AMD up there because that's one we caught live on air before, back here at the lows. I gave a sell this day, which I don't have it marked, but it's holding in pretty well too. And the technometer was oversold yesterday.
And AMD is one that I kind of like as well. I think I'm getting more and more mining questions. So for you, Moxon, if you're watching this, I will get to your mining question over in our private Discord after the show. I think people are starting to build some more mining rigs, and AMD has also came out with their CPU set, which is really very comparable to the Intel counterparty. So I think they have a pretty bright future. Now we got somebody over here saying, do you not think the market is going lower? We have had the same $3,000 to $3,200 price target since Bitcoin was at $4,300. I think that we can still drop from here to around that $3,000 to $3,200 is where I will have some orders and be happy to pick up some BTC. And I think there's potential for a wick down to around $2,800 personally, unless there's more BS like we had with Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin SV, which leads into another question here. JK or GK is asking, what is my opinion on Bitcoin, Satoshi's vision? I don't even know. I don't even have an opinion pertaining to the tech they have. Obviously, you know it is a code fork from Bitcoin with slight modifications, so it's very similar. But I will not support Bitcoin SV because, number one, I think it's a copycat. I don't think it does anything special, and I'm not interested. Number two, Craig Wright is not Satoshi. Okay, he's just not. I really doubt he has a very much lack of coding skills probably anyways, because now he's on his billionaire high horse. He doesn't do that work. He outsources for developers. But I'm not going to support a project that is led by somebody who is so egotistical. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just search in Google for Craig Wright funny crypto moments and look at how narcissistic and egotistical this guy has been, not only in the United States, in Japan, at conferences, wherever it may be. That is not somebody that I want to be supporting. On top of that, that fork is what caused this current sentiment. We were holding in tight around 6,000. That fork was a direct result of, or this current market is a direct result of that. This drop, I think, was definitely induced by that fork, and the catalyst from that fork. Craig Wright openly said on Twitter, I had a screenshot of it, that he was selling all of his Bitcoin to pay for mining of Bitcoin SV, and probably also to manipulate the market when we had a couple days of green with Bitcoin SV. That was probably him behind the scenes. He did delete that tweet. So, no, I'm not going to help or support or believe in a project led by him that is manipulating the market for the negative, that doesn't care about the short term. Here's the thing, guys. He does not care. He has so much money. He doesn't care that he caused a $2,000, $3,000 sell-off on Bitcoin, because guess what? He bought up a bunch of Bitcoin SV, which he's going to start shilling here in the next bull run, and he has the liquid cash to now buy Bitcoin at $3,500. That's a win-win for him. He doesn't care about the little guys like you. He doesn't care what it does for the sentiment of the entire market. He doesn't care what outside, now your parents are like, oh, I heard on the media that Bitcoin's going to zero and it's dead because it's at 3,500. He doesn't care. So I'm not interested in Bitcoin SV. And really, I don't even like Bitcoin Cash that much. I've always said that. I thought it should be a portfolio holding, 3 to 5% to ride out some Roger Ver pumps. But Roger Ver actually has sweetened up his tune a little bit as of late, saying that he is still bullish on the entire cryptocurrency ecosystem. Yes, he thinks Bitcoin Cash is going to be the winning peer-to-peer currency, but still he said he's bullish on Bitcoin and understands why Bitcoin is still the king of this ecosystem. So I think maybe he had a little bit of a realization after the Craig Wright thing happened that he's really hurting the market that he helped build. Whether you like Roger Ver or not, before he kind of went on his own path, he was one of the early evangelist for the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency ecosystem. And I think this whole situation kind of opened his eyes to how he is directly hurting all of the work that he's put in over the past 9 years.
Jay Stevens mentioned Telray, because that one got hit today, while the other POS stocks have done pretty well for the last week.
I know that.
I think Telray might
the
try
hemp
to bounce back.
legalization or something is getting approved by the government. I saw some article pop up that hemp legalization is coming soon.
Telray was down today, while the other ones were down, but still the charts look much better on the other ones. I got a chart on. Somebody mentioned DNT, District Ox, so not much to say there. Again, my software was loading. Now it's not loading. The software is, when it's working correctly, coming much faster. So I did do a conference call with all the developers. So I think finally, once again, I'm going to have that taken care of. So, and then I did notice FCT USD. This came down sharply. Look at that one. Wow.
We called that in the Discord.
19 down to 6 with a big red bar.
That in the Discord. We were selling near the top on Factum in the Discord. We were selling near the top in Discord and here on YouTube on Link. I actually posted on Twitter. Got a lot of hate and a lot of DM. The Link chart looks a lot like that too. I think within a couple hundred Satoshis off the top there. And we had entries for basic attention basic attention token. I was targeting around 6,300 sats. Is that what it's sitting at? Either 63 or 3,300. I can't remember where exactly that is at right now.
Link 64 to 20.
We were basic attention token. We were targeting 3,300 Satoshis. You had a couple opportunities to get filled right around there and around 33, 34, and now that is even holding around 4,000. So a couple of things we've been talking about in the public and on our private Discord, those price targets are still looking good. And Factum gave it up. We're calling for that to happen. So
XRP holding 31 where it's been setting.
Also, what was another one? I don't know if you're in here, Iron Worker, but he was asking, hey, Nick, when should I get into Ravencoin? This is when after this big rally and everything. And I said, I think you're easily going to have a drop in Ravencoin to 400. Just be patient. He was patient, waited 2 weeks. I don't know if he ended up buying it, but right now Ravencoin, I think, is at 399 sats. Let's see. 399. So, patience is key. There's not a lot going on. Obviously, if you're in the Discord, we're doing a lot of chit-chatting, fundamentals, but not a lot of charts to go over. We haven't been live as much because like we said, it's been $80 in 5 days. But there is still easy trade opportunities. And if you're looking for entries, we've been giving some entries to be looking for, and so far they're working out here on the show, etc. So can't complain too much.
It's been pretty boring, actually.
Yeah, it has been pretty boring. Really, it's just about positioning. I know you want us to say something else, or you want us to say the bull market's going to start now. Look, nobody knows. We have the price target where we have it. You guys know that I have money available to continue to get into this market. People in Discord know. Somebody asked for, hey, Nick, if you had $10,000, what's a generic portfolio breakdown you'd want? I gave that, and that's kind of the way I'm going to be spreading out the money I'm putting in the market as well. So just kind of waiting and seeing, looking for a break lower for an opportunity to dollar cost average and accumulate at these levels, and look forward to price appreciation, to cryptocurrency utilization, and to really more mainstream adoption of these cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin.
And you got your mortgage money, right?
I've got balls of steel.
That's what we got in there on the waiting. The people in Discord saw a screenshot of it. It's ready to go. So just looking for the right opportunity now.
Ka-ching, ka-ching.
All right, let's go ahead and get into a couple of these news articles. We got on. I was like, man, I don't feel that good. We have nothing to talk about. The software's working. It's not working. And now it's 7:15. And we're just here having fun chit-chatting. That's what usually happens. The shows we think we have the least to talk about is when we end up having the most to talk about, because you guys provide some great questions over in the chat box. Germany's second largest stock exchange and Solaris Bank partnered to launch a crypto exchange. I'm sure this is going to be very similar to the Bakkt exchange as well as the Irisex exchange that we're seeing on the traditional side here in the United States. This news goes along with the plans announced by the exchange in May to release a zero-fee cryptocurrency trading application. The press release notes that Bitcoin and Ethereum will be available for trading on the exchange by both retail and institutional investors. This kind of also leads to the title of Ethereum taking back over the number 2 spot. Finally, some bullish news with the coding and scalability of the Ethereum network that we just talked about, with the Constantinople fork coming soon. And now another institutional and retail application where Ethereum will be available to those retail and institutional investors. Ethereum is going to be on ErisX as well. It's on Coinbase custody, Gemini custody, all these platforms except for Backed. Ethereum is on there. And once, like we always say, the money can only go where it has access to. They're going to start by going into these trusted platforms. They're only going to have access to Bitcoin, Ethereum, some Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and goes a little more down the list. So I think those are the ones that will lead the next bull run. More savvy investors and speculators and traders like ourselves will then take some of the profits off the top of the large caps, get into the altcoins, and ride the wave of altcoin gains as others follow suit. And then lastly, not much to say besides, man, I feel sorry. If you have family living in Venezuela, I feel sorry. That's all I can say. Venezuela has reportedly begun converting pensioners' monthly payments into its controversial cryptocurrency, the Petro. When the announcement of the Petro happened, we said we would not touch the Petro with a 10-foot pole to stay away. And why would you want a cryptocurrency backed by oil, number one? And why would you want a cryptocurrency that is being ran by a government that just failed with its own fiat currency and the bolivar that has what is it? I think it's 280,000 bolivars equals $1 right now. That is crazy. That's a garbage bag full of their fiat now is worth $1 USD. Right. Normally, a pensioner would receive their monthly sums in bolivars, shift the funds into a bank account, and withdraw the fiat from a local branch, the blog explained. However, the government apparently converted residents' bolivars to petros after sending the funds. Notably, this conversion happened after the government first sent the payments in fiat to their residents' web wallets, meaning not only do they not have a choice, the fiat is being converted to what I think is a useless cryptocurrency, but also the Venezuelan government sent pensioners their funds, had access to your bank account, withdrew your fiat, and then replaced it with the petros without even asking. So not only are they're switching it, so now you only can receive petros, they have access to each and every one of their citizens' bank accounts. On a whim. Well, we'll just take that fiat for you, send you back petros. No big deal. While the nation claims to have successfully raised hundreds of millions of dollars, potentially as much as $5 billion, selling the token in an ICO fashion, it is unclear who has actually invested in the Petro or how much has actually been raised. No countries, very few investors actually said they invested in the Petro or even using the Petro, but it seems that the government there, once again, is kind of on its own path for doom and gloom and thinking the Petro is its savior. Really probably to avoid sanctions and tax implications from the United States and the UN, really, because they probably owe us all money. They switched to Petro. There's no way of really us to collect on that money. And I guess they're hoping that this can help fight the several 100% inflation rate they've seen over the past few years.
Somebody had asked about a Bitcoin chart. Maybe somebody got in here late. So, here it is. We had this is a previous triangle, so that's probably a previous fourth wave. We had an ABC off of there. That's probably a fourth wave. So I'm guessing 5 waves down. The way they're acting here, it looks like we're trying to maybe do another triangle, which would lead to another sell-off possibly. I still think we're doing this big wave 4 that leads a new high. Still in the cards, and as Nick said, who is it says we're going 100 grand?
Weiss crypto ratings actually came out and said they're looking for a 30x off the bottom of Bitcoin.
So, but and then I mentioned the problem is here is this was a high level of shorts. They have pulled back some. Longs have increased a little bit. So with this pullback in shorts, I would have thought we'd have a little more strength here. So it does look a little bit maybe like it's triangulating for another new low if you're trying to be cute. I don't think you want to be too cute. And so go back over that January 3rd. That's proof of keys where they're trying to get everybody to take their Bitcoin to their own cold wallets. So, and that's to stop rehypothecation, commingling, etc. So it's trying to stop Wall Street firms, exchanges, etc. from loaning out your Bitcoin for short sells, etc. So as far as I'm concerned, it means that anybody short's going to have a hard time covering if they're doing that, which would ignite the price of Bitcoin. So, as I said, I'd spend more time trying to buy more Bitcoin than I would worrying about pulling my Bitcoin off, but that's everyone's choice.
See an interesting question here. Somebody says, what are your 3 favorite cryptos between coin market cap of number 50 to 100? So I guess kind of getting that mid-range cryptocurrency. Let's see what we got here.
50 to 100. You're going to say Factum.
I like Factum, but like I said, I think Factum is, it did have a major drop. I think it's going to go a little bit lower if Bitcoin does have another red bar down. But Factum is definitely one. Man, there's not a lot of good options here. Holo is one that I am doing some research on pertaining to some information I got today, but I'm not going to include that, so I would say Factum. I would say, man, this is some dog doo-doo coins in here right here. I like WAN Chain. Ravencoin, I do like Ravencoin. I think they're doing something interesting there, but what concerns me is they only have 2.4 billion coins circulating. They have something like 30 billion total supply. I think that is going to dilute the shares and kind of push down upside objective. That is, unless we get a bull run and a lot of newbies don't understand mathematics and start piling into that, kind of like they did when they were chasing XRP at $3. And Aeon here, I have to include Aeon. Yeah, there's nothing else really here that interests me. Have to include Aeon. Why? Number one, they have a partnership with WAN Chain and ICX. I like ICX at these levels. Aeon just produced a foundation report. It was like a 10-page report. If you get to the monetary policy, that's what I wanted to see. Aeon has a massive treasury still. All these other projects are going insolvent. They're closing the doors. They're firing people. They're increasing treasury rewards. Aeon still has a ton of money. And I'm not talking about just in Aeon tokens. They do have hundreds of million. I think they have something like 150 million Aeon that they can release, with holdback provisions. But they have a ton of Bitcoin. They got a ton of cash, and they got a ton of Ethereum. They have enough money in their treasury to remain solvent for a couple of years, even at their current burn rate. So I think this is one that is interesting. It's finding itself down on the luck. I think it has a real use case, has solid partnerships. And if you have the money, even after this bear market, that means you're being ran by somebody who is business savvy, which is needed nowadays, as we see with a lot of these other projects. And they were well diversified. They didn't have all their money in Aeon or Ethereum. They had Bitcoin, cash, Ethereum, and Aeon, and they're sitting pretty right here even during this bear market. So I'd say Aeon has to be in there. Raven probably has to be in there. WAN and Factum, although I think Factum can pull back a little bit further, and it is going to take a little bit of time, I think, for Factum to get back in the limelight, as a lot of people just lost a lot of money chasing those green candles near the top.
What?
What?
Did you use a BitBlaster thing on the front today?
Actually, that is a free image that you can get on Canva.com. We use Canva.com to make our thumbnails, and that rocket is in the free section. So,
well, Matt just texted me and said, "Love your ripoff of BitBlaster. Sold up to the same shit. Love stealing my shit."
Here,
we stole a free fucking.
Yeah, let me go ahead and get on
logo.
the website then.
Excuse the language.
I didn't know. I didn't realize he messaged you. That's hilarious.
I just didn't. I just saw it.
That is hilarious.
But he just told everybody like a month ago he was in town and didn't know how to get a hold of me. Didn't know my number.
Here we go.
Yeah, so this is free. So I don't think we stole it from you, Matt. You stole it from somebody. Idiot.
That's hilarious. Let me see if I can log in on this other screen.
Right.
I'm on the wrong screen, but you go ahead and steal
You must
it.
have
Maybe
grabbed. You must have grabbed his. You must have grabbed his logo for BitBlaster.
That's hilarious. Hey, at least we know he still watches us. Has to learn something, I guess.
I got the screen again, or is my screen not working? Who knows?
Yours is working. I just don't know my login for this.
Sorry about that. Just thought that was funny. I'm like, who am I getting a text from? I don't have much else going on. Bitcoin at 3,400 just fell about $50. What else are we going to go over? I mean, if anybody's wondering, just go to January 3rd Proof of Keys. So if you want to check out, I mean, it's really about rehypothecation and commingling. Basically is what it's concerning. There's a software actually loaded, so you can know that I'm not bullshitting. You can see the technometer did come down here, oversold, and we came down and made that 32.20. But we've had no rally to speak of, and we're back to 45 there. If you go to Bitcoin USDT, hopefully you'll see these are loading much faster now because it's coming from my own server. But they're still working on it as we speak. So let's see if that'll load quickly again. Yeah, we're getting there. You can see it's still loading. the indicators are loading fast once the price loads. So same thing here. We had an oversold reading coming into the lows, but now we're back to 43. So there's no real divergences or anything. Let's go to Ethereum USDT. Maybe we're going to get the software finally to work like it was meant to, like the stock side does.
G-Money said, I read an article that the U.S. government is hosting a, quote, break privacy coin challenge. We talked about an article where it was leaked that the government is actually looking at ways to see if they already know how they can trace Bitcoin. We all know now that Bitcoin is not actually anonymous, it's pseudo-anonymous, but they're trying to figure out ways if they can track transactions that occur on privacy networks such as Zcash and Monero were cited. I think they can track it on Zcash because only about 7% of all transactions on that network actually use the privacy feature, but XMR is truly private, and I don't think they're going to be able to find a way to track XMR, at least not in the short-term future. But let's go ahead. I got to steal this real quick before you get to the chart because people, I mean, that's hilarious. Look, we're on canva.com, right? We're going to go to the search function here. I'm going to type in rocket. Oh, my God. Look at free, number 2 right here. Look at that.
You shouldn't have grabbed that because you knew that was Matt's.
Man, that is hilarious.
All right, so you stole it. Nick, you're a prick.
Oh, man.
So enough of that idiot bullshit. So here's Ethereum USDT 5-minute. So as I said before, I mean, most of my charts have been working fine. Here's Ethereum USD. So it looks like finally they're getting things fixed. So the 5-minute charts are all coming in perfect. So, you know, I'm hoping that I can start doing more of the sector analysis, etc. Because I've had success. If you're watching me, I'm having a shitload of success on the stock side. That was always my case to bring this to the crypto side. And my God, it's been obviously a horrible 12 months wait and then the worst possible time in the crypto market. So I would think all we can do now is look forward to a new year and try to get this thing to trend right back to the upside. So that's what I'm hoping for. Let's bring up, because Waves has had that quick double. Let's see if Waves BTC, what that looks like on the chart. I think if we get this software working fast and quick, which is starting to, then we can start actually going over more of this stuff. Because you can see down here, we talked about this a week ago. The OP was come down here making new lows here on the far left. While price was holding, that kind of gave us a surge higher. And then since then, you know, kind of moving in lockstep. So not much more to add to that.
Clifford Chapman says, Sir Todd, do you ever trade PCG clients' portfolios?
Do I trade them? I mean, I do, but I haven't had, you know, down here at these levels, I'm really not into a trading mood for real. Because I still think we start lift off still somewhere here. I've been way too bullish, but that is...
and Clifford Chapman said, like in repositioning them. Yeah, so I mean, even from the start, even during the bull market, it was 70% long with rediversification of those assets into coins that we thought were winners, and then 30% trading. So yes, those do get repositioned as we do fundamentals or as we're looking at new projects that are going to get in rallies. For example, the Coinbase coins, Zen when they got on Binance, etc. So I think that's what Todd is looking to do to re-diversify those portfolios as he goes.
But probably, I mean, I didn't go to a lot of different coins. I mean, I tried to keep the core coins, and I haven't really ventured away from those. I didn't go to a lot of the smaller alts. So, you know, I've been in trouble, but tried to be in less trouble as anything else. So.
Some people said they lost the stream for a little bit. It went black. Others said they never lost it. So I'm not positive if that ever happens. Try to just hit the refresh button and it should fix your issue. It looks like
maybe when you went over there looking for that rocket, I think maybe that's what happened.
Yeah.
So you use the Bib Blaster rocket. Shame on you.
Sounds like he might need to put out a copyright, or maybe he should go after canva.com because it's on their free section.
Right, since he took it from them.
What else we got, guys? Any more fundamental questions, technical analysis, just shoot the shit, whatever it may be. There's a couple NBA games on tonight, and I got to chill and relax. I think for those of you who are interested and who own or are looking to own Rapids, I don't like to talk about it much on the show since I do have an affiliation with them a little bit. They are doing their mainnet token swap on December 15th. You guys all know I own some Rapids, but the only two exchanges that are supporting it are Correx24.com and ByteBTC.com. So make sure to send your coins over there for the mainnet swap to get the proprietary RPD coin. Otherwise, your ERC20 tokens will be rendered useless. So go ahead and do that. They're looking to have the wallets available on December 16th, so a day after, with proof of stake and master nodes going live. And then they are looking to have a complete rebranding with a new website, block explorer, all the good stuff, ROI calculator, all by December 18th. And there is a little rumor going on that they are going to be doing a 10 days of Christmas. So keep an eye on @RapidsRPD is the Twitter account, @RapidsRPD, for a 10 days of Christmas giveaway to give back to the crypto community and to give you all a chance at some Christmas presents and Christmas cheer.
Matt's rocket is dear to his heart. And he's been a little bitter on crypto. Yeah, I think he's pretty bearish on everything. So that's probably why we're finally making a low here, because there's been a lot of bitterness from lots of people. But I think, you know, we've wiped out everybody. So, and no wonder. I mean, it's been an unbelievable bear market. But I guess I'm still, as you know, Weiss, and I think the upside is just humongous still here. So I will go with that still. And that's why I've held a lot, because I thought the upside was still tremendously higher from here. And I think the U.S. stock market probably might have the one more downdraft I'm talking about. Then I'm guessing it probably firms up. And I think that helps. That helps cryptos probably. It keeps easy money and it keeps speculative juices alive. And if the dollar breaks off finally, I think that helps cryptos even more. So, yeah, I don't know if we're getting the 2019 recession. I mean, you know, it looks like we're going to get something, but I guess I don't think it's going to be much of one. And I don't know, you know, it appears really in the worldwide situation, the U.S. is still a safe haven. So I think there's still money going to come to U.S. stocks, probably. I hate to say it. And that's coming from somebody that's, you know, I'm probably really bearish longer term, but I just don't think I'm there yet.
That's really all about I think. I mean, we're still here. We're still doing our thing. We're still mining, still staking, still noding. Make sure if, you know, obviously with this bear market, not much going on. We're not live as much. Oh, we almost forgot to announce it. So tomorrow we're going to be doing our monthly Patreon only live show at 6:30 p.m. Central Time.
What?
Yes, it does replace this, but some Patreons were saying that the Saturday show didn't work due to time changes, they have family, etc. So we said, okay, we're just going to go ahead and do it tomorrow, Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. If you are a Patreon member, whether the top tier with the Discord or the lower tier, you do get access to that Patreon only live show and Patreon only giveaway. So it might pay for your entire month if you win the giveaway. And that will not ever be visible by the general public, only for Patreon members. A chance for you guys to ask for your charts, your questions, and have a more personal feel with us tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Central Time.
I think we're in for a bear in the Dow. I just don't think it's right here and now, really. I mean, I think it might be one more sell-off, and then maybe after that, not as bad. And, yeah, and just because, you know, we've skipped a few shows or whatever, I mean, Nick had a few things come up. We had mentioned we're trying to work on a marijuana grow and dispensary because Missouri has okayed it for medicinal purposes. So just we got some other business things going on. You know, if anybody says we're not on here for any reason, it's just because we're busy. We're not leaving the space. And we think the upside's huge. So,
and I mean, we'll
be back here consistent as soon as we get a few things and get these holidays out of the way, et cetera.
Yeah, we're always on Twitter and Discord as well, and those guys can say, you know, if they have a question, they tag us. We get to it as soon as possible. And they're having a lot of their own chats. Johnny M. Cool's over there killing it with EOS. He knows everything about EOS. He's like our inside EOS guy, making sure nobody misses any airdrops or gambling or whatever it may be. So pretty fun over there.
And anybody emails, tweets, whatever, everybody knows they get replies from me immediately. Always.
If there's no other real questions, comments, concerns, I think we'll start to wrap it up. That's the sound.
Clifford Chapman says we're in toilet time, so I wanted to make it feel more special.
Make sure to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Once we hit 6,000 subscribers, I think we're like 30 away. Todd is going to be giving away one of our cryptocurrencies and Wyckoff trading courses from learncrypto.io. $300 value. Could be yours for free. Spread the word. Get your family, friends, etc. to hit that subscribe button, like button, and get them into cryptocurrencies here at learncrypto/Wyckoff SMI.
And so somebody came in and said they hadn't been here in 6 months and said they want to make sure they could still get their Learn Crypto course. Yeah, I mean, the course is always available lifetime. So
yeah, lifetime, no matter if there's lesson changes, additional lessons, you can go through it as many times as you want. That's one of the perks. Lifetime access to that Learn Crypto course.
It's just funny because now I'm selling a few more stock courses and not cryptos. So it's always backwards. So I'd say buy cryptos and sell stocks because now I'm selling stock courses.
That's hilarious. Crazy. Mohan says, so Nick, the RPD desktop wallet will be able to stake coins after the swap, right? I think it's coming out the 16, yes. So if you have your desktop wallet, you can actually stake coins in that. In order to stake coins, your computer, the wallet does need to be running 24/7 because you are actually becoming a node on the network, providing security to that network and verifying transactions, getting rewarded with that staking percentage. If you don't want to leave your computer on all the time, you can do that via a VPS, or you can get a masternode and do the masternode via the VPS as well. We are working on several hosting options where they can get you a one-stop setup for $10 a month or whatever it may be. And I think there will be something that fits what you're looking for, Mohan.
I've got balls of steel.
You're a fool. And I'll go on records. Everyone knows I've been bullish basically all the way down. I was bullish all the way up too. So, but I probably think when the futures came out, it did bring in a lot of Wall Street selling, and I think everyone jumped on the short side. And I think this rehypothecation has gotten worse. And trend followers in the stocks, hedge funds, whatever. I mean, they will ride the trend till they can get everything they have on it. They'll pyramid into shorts. So I think everybody is short here, and I think we've run out everybody, and I think we'll make a low, and I think it'll be surprising how we rally back. So I'm sticking with that.
Anthony Rossano says, I have a VPS. I should use it for staking. Yeah, I mean, staking with desktop wallets, especially the generic QT wallets, is very light on your CPU and your hardware. So, I mean, I'm sure you could have several staking wallets open on that VPS, plus still do whatever you normally do and get things running over there, whether it's Rapids RPD, whether it's Redcoin, Linda, Zen Secure Node, whatever it may be. There's tons of options for passive income. Go to like masternodes.pro to look at masternodes, and then just type in top staking cryptocurrencies on Google, and you'll see a link to a website that kind of gives you a whole list of coins that are proof of stake as well.
Give me just 1 second. I'm going to check something here. But is it possible to hit 20,000 for Bitcoin in 2019? I mean, I think that's, if what I just said is true, I would say, yeah, I would think it's possible.
Verveji says, what are your top security tokens and how will this affect the other coins? I really don't know what is considered a security token yet. Security token isn't something decided by cryptocurrency enthusiasts or cryptocurrency users. It's a terminology that was created by the regulation system of the government, and until they start deeming what are security tokens, which ones will have to register and what isn't, I can't really name any of my favorites. We really don't talk about ICOs or own any ICOs on this channel besides Ethereum, and maybe one or other two coins that we've talked about in the past has been an ICO at some point in its life cycle. But I'm assuming that the ICOs will be the first target of the SEC or CFTC to declare them as securities. But as of now, I can't really name my top security tokens because we don't even know which ones are security tokens. And then Akash Shevank says, what will ETH price be in 2019 December? I mean, we're not really looking to do a short-term projection or what's going to happen for 2019. But it really depends on what the entire market does and what Bitcoin does. If by chance somebody asked if we thought Bitcoin could be 20,000 by the end of the year, if Bitcoin was 20,000, I think that Ethereum is going to be testing its all-time highs once again, as long as the Constantinople fork goes as planned and the scaling for that protocol platform continues to grow.
Wonderful Bricks wants to know about polymath. I mean, there's polymath. I would say it's impressive here that it's held the lows and then showing some strength here. So that one might not be too bad here.
Alrighty.
You laughing at me, fool?
No, Robert says, why do you guys talking poop about Matt? We didn't even bring up Matt until Matt texted Todd live on, while we were live on air, and then he goes, you stole the idea of BitBlaster. We don't have any website running right now, so I don't know what you're talking about.
We just stole the idea of
Hugo is
BitBlaster.
building a cryptocurrency website that isn't even completed, and it is not even similar. It doesn't have any of the same functionality as BitBlaster.
We stole his logo that he got for free, that he
Canva.com.
charged $30,000 for. You think he could have built a logo with that much money? Instead, he took a free one. Don't start with me and Matt.
Nick, did you get a chance to dig any further into Theta? I'm pulling the trigger this week on the next BTC dip. Theta is one that is starting to interest me a little more just because of the partnerships and the investors and advisors that the project has. As you know, last time he told me to look into it, it like started mooning the next day, so it kind of turned me off for the short term. But we'll get over in Discord, look at some price objectives, and see what we got going on with Theta tonight. That's really, I mean, it's already 7:45, guys. What do you got? You got one more chart over there, Todd?
I was just looking at some weed stocks. Nothing to brag about.
And that's about all we got, guys. So make sure to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Shout out to the 200 people watching right now during these hard times. We are 30. We are continually, slowly growing, even though we're not going live near as much or near as much content and the bear market. We are slowly getting some more subscribers, well on our way to 6,000 subscribers, which is when Todd will give away a cryptocurrency trading course. Invest in yourself. Invest in your personal education, as it will follow you for the rest of your life. So
it'll get easier, guys.
It's going to get easier here shortly. Really, we're looking at dollar cost average and accumulation. Same exact Bitcoin price target of 3,000 to 3,200. And until next time, guys, stay tuned for your daily updates on cryptocurrencies right here at Learn Crypto. Don't forget, guys, that a Patreon-only live show tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. Peace.
Hey, stay positive, pal. Most people, when they lose, they whine and quit. But you gotta be there for the turns. Everybody's got good luck, everybody's got bad luck. Don't run when you lose.
Play hard, play clean. Be careful out there. We'll see you all again. Sleep tight.